Yo, what is up guys, it's Ryan Sneaks back with another sneaker video, and today I am doing a few more videos on the Yeezy Boost 350 on how to tell if they're real or fake. I know my first video was pretty good and a lot of people appreciated that one, but I'm still getting a ton of questions on Instagram and Twitter and a bunch of different places where I'm actually doing other things than answering questions for it. So what I'm going to do is just make a whole new video. I'm going to be using some of the pictures people have sent me in before of their fakes and kind of asking if they're real or not, just to compare and kind of show you exactly what we're going to be looking for. Because I know some people on my videos are commenting like, oh, I bought some for 50 bucks and they're legit. I spent $100 and they're legit. And I mean, come on guys, they're not. So I mean, before we start trying to fool each other and all that kind of stuff, I'm going to actually show you compared pictures of different things just to make sure you're getting them right. So first thing we're going to look at is the tag right here. So the tag is pretty easy to tell, I think. As you can see right there, it says that turtle, bluegrass, core white, the UPC, and a lot of people ask me, you know, is UPC and EAN, does that mean anything? And it does. It doesn't mean it's fake or not. I know a lot of people say EAN means fake, and that is not true. EAN, if you've seen a Yeezy Boost 350 box with a bunch of different squares, for example, my Oxford tan box right here has an EAN because it has the little squares on there. And with the little square label like this one, you can also get a UPC. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're fake right there. But with this one, it's only UPC. If you just get the big number on there, all you're going to get is a UPC. If you get a small box, it can go back and forth between UPC and EAN. So just to clear that up for you guys, if you're looking for like a UPC EAN saying EAN's fake or UPC's fake, they're both real. You just got to make sure the label corresponds with it. Another thing that I recommend you guys check for, and this is especially for the ladies, I know a lot of girls have like DM'd me asking me, are these real? And it says women's Yeezy Boost or girls Yeezy Boost. And where it has the little guy right there, this guy right here, it's always going to be a guy. It's never going to be a girl. I know a lot of people have sent me some with like a girl on there, and it's not real. It has to be a guy. I know that a lot of people say that there's women or kids or whatever Yeezy Boost. No, it's always male. So that may change with the newer ones coming up. I know like with the 950 boots, those actually do have a woman. But for Yeezy Boost 350s and 750s, it's always going to be male. Another thing to look for is, not all the time, but sometimes you will get some boxes that have stickers on them. And that's fine. That doesn't mean they're fake or anything. Most places put a sticker on there. For example, this one was from Shoe Palace. Shoe Palace and Nice Kicks use the same stickers because Nice Kicks is owned by Shoe Palace. But you get what I'm saying. They'll always have that. Some fakes have actually stepped it up and put the $200 big one from like Foot Locker or Champs on there. So whenever you see that big one that says 200, you kind of want to look into it, because I'm not saying it's fake, because Foot Locker, East Bay, a bunch of like the chains like that use that sticker, but since they've seen them use that sticker, they're starting to put them on them as well. So, but if you see anything small like this, they've never used anything like that. Also on my Moon Rocks that I got from Mr. Porter online, they have a small sticker on the back. So I mean, something small like that is always a good sign. A couple things you want to check out first is to see if this guy right here is proportional first. Always make sure that his arms, his legs are always proportionate to the other ones. He's centered within the box. You always want to make sure of that, because if it's not, then it's going to be fake. Now when you want to get into the shoes, especially if you're buying dead stock or something like that or used, you want to make sure that they have a receipt. Not all of mine have receipts, just a couple, because I mean, I've been looking into it for a while. You want to make sure they have a receipt, and if they have this tag still, this is always going to be on the right foot. Let me see if that can even focus in. This little Adidas tag that comes on them is always supposed to be on the right foot. But yeah, you always want to try to make sure they have a receipt and it's an authentic receipt. I've said in my previous video, if you get one that says Selena or Kyle Ramos, you're fake right there. Don't even step towards them, because 100% of the time it's going to be fake. These right here are the receipts I was talking about. You can see the Selena and Kyle Ramos one. These are the absolute fake receipts. I'm not too sure why they use those names or anything, but that's what I've seen most, and most, when I say most, I mean a lot of them use those names. Now mine are pretty dirty right now. All of them are pretty dirty because I haven't cleaned them up in a while, but we're not really going to be paying attention to that. We're going to be looking for the differences and what to spot. So whenever I see a Yeezy Boost 350, the first thing I ask for is to see the boost. If anybody wants to check, I always recommend looking at the boost. Boost is something they've tried really hard to get, and they can't. So I don't know if this can even pick up on here, but I'm going to be putting a picture of it and what it's supposed to actually look like. next to one that's fake. And I mean, with that, it's really easy to tell. There are some that are getting better, but I will point out the obvious differences. So when talking about boost, this is authentic boost. This is mine right here. As you can see, you get the 3 dimples going on each side, and then you get one at the top. It's a little bit dirty, like I said, but as you can see, there's some texture going along in it. There's these little ridges that go all the way throughout, and that's pretty much the way I was able to tell for the longest. And then they started making fakes with better boost and different things with it. But the one thing you want to check for, it's kind of visible here. I'll do a picture so you can see it a little bit better. But these little dots on the outside, fakes that have got the good boost on there, tend to miss out on that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a little bit too hard for them to get. But these little outer dots on the outside, it's a really good way to tell now, because before it was easy. You could tell between fake and real boost. I'll put some pictures of fake ones up here right now. As you can see, like, they don't really have that good of a texture, and if they do, it looks really shitty. So it's pretty easy to tell that way. But once you get to that, then you want to check these little slots right here. So after that, it has these little slots up in the shoe. And as you can see right here, you see those 2 little circles. It doesn't have to be 2. Honestly, I think they might be different on a few of them. But you get those little dots in there with the lines in it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's that thing right there. You get a couple of them in each little boost window. And fakes usually don't have that either. So that's a really good way to tell. It's not 100% sure, like I said. I mean, some fakes are actually pushing their game up and getting them better. But from what I noticed, they still don't get those little dots and the little, like, texture on it. Some of them are still missing. So after that's all said and done, I mean, boost is probably the easiest way to spot a fake. Like I said, some fakes have gotten better, and they'll actually, like, if you're going through a person or a website and you're asking for pictures, they'll send you pictures of real stuff. That's the one thing to always be cautious of. They're always sending pictures of fake shoes or, like, stock item shoes, like pictures from Adidas. And people asking, are these real? They're asking $100 or something like that. With that, you have to use your brain. I mean, you're not going to get them for $200 because that's retail. And I mean, they sell out like right then and there at retail. You're probably going to be spending upwards of $800 to over $1,000 for a pair. So whenever somebody asks me like, oh, these are $60 or $100, are they real? I mean, it's kind of just a waste of time for both of us. I mean, you should know better for that one. I mean, I shouldn't have to be answering questions like that. I mean, use your brain on that one. And then all those Instagram sites, all that stuff right there, it's all fake, where they're saying like, get your Yeezys for $100 or 2 for $200 or something like that, whatever it is. Whenever you see those ads on Instagram, I don't know why Instagram's promoting those, but they are fake. And the people saying, well, they're like $100 on Adidas or something like that, that's not Adidas. If you actually look at the website, it's like Adidas Corp or some shit like that. I don't know what it is, but it's not Adidas. If you want to see the Adidas website, it is www.adidas.com, and that's it. But now that that's out of the way, what I'm going to be talking about is this little pull tab in the back. It's kind of like a different thing to look at. Some of them are placed too high, some of them are placed too low. You always want to make sure they look about right here. So I don't know if you guys want to take a screenshot right now, but it's supposed to look that. The cut of the shoe is another thing to look at. Some of them go way too low, and some of them kind of stay just straight across. But I mean, like I said, fakes nowadays are getting pretty good, and they're getting the shape on. Really, the only way I spot them now is with the boost. And as you can tell, the pattern, it's going up like that. I mean, I still get people sending me the really bad fakes from the beginning where the pattern is just like dots, asking if it's real. And I mean, just kind of take a look at that. I mean, it's just really spontaneous in different ways. It's just going... It's a big difference between that and a fake. Some fakes do have it perfect down to the T. Even they have that little eye on there. And when I'm talking about that little eye, or they call it the 8 or whatever, it's going to be this. As you can see, there's like 2 little dots right there. That's one thing people used to look for a lot on the pattern. But now fakes are starting to get that. Another thing I wanted to talk about on the pattern is to always make sure that the pattern does not meet up perfectly in the back like this. So pattern's pretty hard to tell nowadays, but like I said, I always go by boost. Boost is my way of checking. Boost is probably the best way to check as well. So with the suede patches right here on the Turtle Dove, what I noticed on them is they're pretty rough. I don't know if it's because I've been wearing them a lot. I mean, it's still smooth right here, but as you can see, the color's a little bit faded on mine already. Just because they've been worn a lot, they've gotten wet a couple times. But that Adidas logo right here is supposed to be that size and no other size. Pretty small. It's not going to be huge or anything. I've seen a lot of people that have them and it's like really big or really small. So you always want to make sure it's that perfect size. When looking at the Yeezy logo right there, the YZY, it's supposed to be the same. I mean, pretty small. As you can tell, it's not very big at all, maybe the size of a fingernail. But nothing too crazy with that. I mean, they've gotten some where they're really big and small. Same thing on the Adidas logo. And then with the suede, you want to make sure it's not like super short or anything. Like I said, mine's a little bit faded, but as you can see, it still changes colors when you swipe over it. It's going to be pretty nice quality. Another thing to note is the laces here. The laces are a little bit thicker than the other ones. So if you get them in, the laces are really thin, that's kind of a red flag, because of all the 350s, these have the thickest laces. Those are actually probably the best laces too out of all of them. And then the tips on them is going to be white. Now the stitching in the back of the heel on these is going to be black. I've seen some where it's white and different things. It's always going to be black. I know some people comment still like, is it okay if it's this or this? It's going to be one color. They're not going to switch the colors. It's always going to be black. The next thing is you're going to have that dark stripe going down. And that's about it. I mean, some people have them where it's like a jet black and it's not a jet black. It's going to be like kind of like a navy bluish. It's also not going to be white for sure. That's 100% for sure. But that's about it with these. I know I said I wasn't going to go too much into the insole or anything, but that's what it looks like right here. Pretty simple. Just has the Adidas logo, and that's about it. You're going to want to make sure that it's not puffed up and like shooting out. You're going to always want to make sure that it is just like flat. So as you can see, nothing really sticks out. So it's pretty good. I mean, like I said, insoles have been mastered. The only thing I would say to check for is to make sure that it's using this Adidas logo and not a different one. And also on a lot of fakes, I've seen that there's like stripes just going like down. I don't know what that's for, like if they were pressed or something, but it's not supposed to have that at all. So I mean, even if they're worn and they claim that they're worn a lot, it's like a deep embossed stripe going across. I have no idea why. So yeah, hopefully this video helps. I know that a lot of people were asking for a more in-depth review on turtle doves. They wanted me to get fakes, and I've been offered fakes by fakes companies to do reviews on and then to help promote them, but I'm just not going to do that. So hopefully this helped as best as I could, because I really want to help you guys out. I just don't have time to respond to the hundreds and hundreds of DMs I get. So hopefully this can help. But that is it. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.